Hello, hello, my beautiful people. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Goretti and I am the counselor at Butterfly Project. So today, this topic keeps coming up with many of my clients. It's something I've dealt with myself over the years, as well as helped many clients with this. Being in the holiday season right now, Christmas time and whatever else you do celebrate, this is something that we can kind of come across a little bit more, especially with the whole, Scrooge thing, at Christmas time. And I believe that I, kind of refer to that as well in one of my other videos I just recently did. But this is a time of year that can be difficult, for a lot of people, but also we can kind of encounter a lot of people who are being very difficult, especially, the whole hustle and bustle and, buying gifts and like Black Friday. I'm actually recording this on Black Friday, so that also came up, as well. But we deal with, a lot of difficult people in our lives, getting together with, family and friends, possibly family members, family gatherings that maybe we're not quite used to, hanging out with, people in extended family, things like that. Maybe it's family, friends, a lot of people kind of come together, during the holiday time. And, this is where we do encounter, some difficult people. So I wanted to talk about how do we deal with difficult people in our lives and that we come across. Okay, so it is pretty simple, and I know that it might sound common sense, but so much of this actually isn't even, something that we can kind of control. We all get triggered during, encounters with difficult people. So how do we deal with difficult people? First thing is, to be honest, if you haven't done the work on yourself to get yourself really solid, stable, and secure within, this can be really difficult. Okay, so that's kind of the first piece, is doing the self-work on you, getting to that place of really, kind of shifting your perspective. I always call this or talk about the paradigm shift, right? So being able to shift your perspective on things easily, being somebody who has, a kind of broader perspective of things and not so rigid on your ideals and your opinions. I mean, we all have opinions and things like that, but somebody who, is a little bit more flexible or can see the big picture of things and can understand that it's okay for us to have different opinions. We all don't need to agree, and really doing the work on your subconscious programming, your childhood programming, self-love, self-worth, self-value, self-esteem. It is so important to do this work, because when you do and you get triggered by difficult people, you'll know the difference between someone that's done the work and somebody that doesn't, because the one that's done the work, they don't really get triggered and they can easily navigate through those situations, whereas somebody who hasn't done the work is really stuck in their ego mind, in their ego state. And so the ego is all about fear. The ego is all about trying to control, the ego wants to win. The ego is, the center of attention kind of thing. So if you are somebody that is in that ego state, you're going to get easily triggered, right? So there are some practical things that we can do when we're dealing with difficult people. And I'll talk about those. But the most important thing really is doing that inner work. I keep, kind of stressing this, with everybody. And this is what I do with my clients. It is really for us to get to that place where we can, come from a place not of our ego state, but really from that inner you, which, when we boil down to it, is coming from a place of love. And when we come from that place, we are coming from a place of compassion and understanding. It doesn't mean that bad behavior is accepted or okay. It just means that when you're in that kind of situation or environment, that you know how to navigate and you don't get triggered. Okay, so let's say you're in a situation, family member, a customer, a client, somebody that you encounter when you're out shopping for, Christmas gifts or whatever it is, and you get, in this situation, first take a look at, kind of the broader picture. If there is somebody that's being really difficult, or they're being nasty or mean or, negative, whatever it is, understand where that is coming from. Like, think about what I just explained. They're coming from their ego state. So maybe you said something that triggered that fear within them from their childhood, right? Maybe they have subconscious programming that tells them to be very negative, to be a Scrooge, to be, negative Nancy, right? So understand first that they are coming from their ego state. Most people, right, who are difficult, or maybe somebody is bullying you or being mean to you or nasty to you. Think about that. When we're in a place of really connecting to that internal you, which is all about love, if you're coming from that place, you're going to be somebody that is very kind and understanding and compassionate. Yes, we can have that and still have clear boundaries with people. Absolutely. Doesn't mean that you don't have boundaries. And that's, another video I'm going to do, because people have this misconception, right? That if we're kind, that we don't have boundaries. No, you can be kind, but still self-loving, which is where the boundaries come into place. So, when you have somebody that's being this way, yes, you can have those boundaries, but you can also be very loving and, understanding and kind, to this person, and compassionate. So understand that they're coming from an ego state. They're coming from fear. They're coming from some sort of negative subconscious belief system. And when you can look at that and understand this person probably lacks self-love, self-worth, self-esteem on a deep level, right? Maybe on the surface it doesn't look like that, but they lack that. If they're attacking you, there's a saying I just heard recently that I love, it's not just your fans that, are cheering you on, right? Or, noticing you, or wanting to be like you. It's actually also your enemies as well, right? Your enemies are actually your biggest fans, right? So if somebody is attacking you or coming at you, think of it in that place. Like, what is it about you, right? Clearly, there is something very special about you that is causing this person, to attack you. A lot of times, it comes from fear. It comes from, those negative kind of, ego state feelings, like jealousy, envy, fear, lack of, control, lack of self-worth, lack of self-love or self-esteem, right? So if you can understand that, you can realize, this is where this person is coming from. It's actually not personal. Okay? Most of the time it is not personal. And if it is personal, think about your biggest fans, are usually your enemies, or your enemies are your biggest fans, right? So this person clearly sees something within you that they wish that they had, or that they wish that they were. And the other thing is, misery loves company. There's that saying, right? And miserable people want to see other people miserable. So when somebody comes at you like that, just think, take a couple steps back, see the bigger picture. When we're too close to something, we can't quite see it. So take a few steps back, and then you can kind of see a lot clearer, and you realize, like, wow, for this person to be this way, they must not love themselves, right? Or maybe they're jealous or envious, or maybe, they're coming from a place of fear, or there's clearly something within them, that they haven't resolved. This isn't about me. And understand that, it's not personal, right? It's not personal. And have that compassion for this person. Like, who would want to be like that? Who would want to be mean and nasty? Who would want to be miserable like that? Who wants to be negative? Like, if that person is coming from that place and you've done the internal work, you can actually have compassion for that person. You can have compassion for your enemies. And I'm not saying that all these people are enemies, but just, you can have compassion for people who are mean and negative and, miserable, in the Scrooges, of the holiday season and all of that. understand that they're battling something, and most of the time it has nothing to do with you. And if they're attacking you and it's coming out of nowhere, so many times people are projecting their own internal battle, their own internal struggles, their own internal hatred, right? Their own internal fear, their own internal, darkness and negativity onto you. And usually it is onto people who are very loving, or people who are very, light centered, somebody who really shines their light, somebody who kind of lights up, the room, or lights up people's lives. So somebody who's positive and happy, typically, if you are that kind of person, most likely who have done the inner work. And when that happens, we're also a magnet. It's kind of like the moth to the flame, right? You're a magnet for everybody, but especially the people that don't have that light within themselves. They don't have that internal happiness, internal joy, internal peace. Okay, they haven't done the internal work. They don't have that self-love. So just keep that in mind. And, especially during this time of year, just keep that in mind. Do the work yourself. Don't take it personally, right? And have compassion for these people. The other thing that's a very practical thing is think of, and I teach all my clients this, is, tug of war, right? When somebody comes at you and bites you with their words and tries to attack you, what they're doing is they're trying to bait you, right? And what they're doing is they want you to get into this tug of war battle with them. Do not get into the tug of war. This is the easiest way to deal with difficult people. Don't get into that tug of war with them. Let go of the rope. What happens in tug of war when you let go of the rope? That person falls flat on their face. You just let go of all of that kind of tension and resistance. What they want is that, so that they can battle and project that stuff, and they'll feel satisfied in that. Don't allow them the satisfaction. Just let go of the rope. Don't take it personally. Use all these other things I said to kind of help you through it. Don't take it personally. Let go. Right? Do your thing, and don't react. This is the other thing I teach, my clients, and this is all stuff I've done in my life, and I'm telling you, it has brought me so much peace in my life dealing with difficult people. Just let go of the rope. Don't grab onto that rope. Don't take the bait, right? Let go and don't react. All right, my loves, and I promise you, it will be so much easier to deal with difficult people when you do all of these things, okay? So thanks so much for being here. If you are new to my channel, haven't subscribed yet, I would absolutely love to have you here as part of this ever-growing butterfly community. As well, do all the things, like this video, share this video with anybody that you think it could be helpful for. Comment down below. I love hearing from you guys. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you get notified of new videos. And as well, if you would like to work with me, to work on, I do a lot of the inner child, subconscious programming, that sort of thing. If you would like to work with me, my information is always in the description box below. And as always, you guys, I wish you all peace, love, and light. Until next time, bye-bye.